Today, for my personal technology project, I'm going to be talking about digital comic books. The program I use to read those is called Yak Reader, yet another comic reader. It's available at yakreader.com, as you can see here in the address bar. On their main page, they have a download page. The program itself is free, although the developer does accept donations. It has a features link to tell you what features are available. Support if you have questions, you can contact the developer directly. And then there's a forum. If you have any problems, you can interact with others. One of the new features on here that I think is really cool is you can use a library server program on the Raspberry Pi, which is a pretty inexpensive piece of hardware, about $35, and then you can set it up to run a external hard drive or an SD card and store your library digitally right there, and your students can then access it on their iPads. The program itself is available on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS X, as well as iOS. And so you have quite a few features there. If you have Android, unfortunately, you got to find something else. That's what I had to do with my tablet, but I love using this on my desktop. It's a great program. Now that we have a program to read these comics, we got to find somewhere else to get them. One of the really good places to go is called Comixology. It's a company that's owned by Amazon. They have an unlimited deal here for about $6 a month. You can get access to, as they say here, 10,000 comics, graphic novels, and manga. They have stuff from all the major publishers and independent publishers, and you can also buy new books on there. Just an example, Marvel also has their own version of their digital store. Theirs is about $10 a month for unlimited access to everything that Marvel has, and then you can purchase new stuff from them as well. So getting into the program itself, this is what the library program here looks like. Over here on the left-hand side, we have a listing of all the folders that are stored in the library. Shows all the comics in here. And then over here on the right side, it's really neat. It shows the cover of each of the books. You can scroll up and down. It'll update pictures on here so the users can go through there and they can see what each cover looks like. They go, oh, hey, this one looks like an interesting one. I think I'll click there. Double click it, it will open right up. And my system is being a little slow, so I've got a couple of them open up in another window just to give you an example of what these look like. This is Avengers #1, published in the early 1960s. As you can see, there is a lot of text on here. So your students are going to be reading about the Avengers, stuff they're seeing in the movies, and they're going to be reading some pretty interesting stories here, and a lot of words to really get to them. And if this might be a little bit too much, we can take a look here real quick at a modern comic. This one was published in 2012. As you can see, a lot less text involved. And then another one from the 80s that I think is really cool. This one actually has no words at all in the story. It's completely told visually. We can scroll back and forth using the right and left arrows on the keyboard, as well as these buttons right up here that will scroll back and forth through the pages, back and forth through the comics, save the page, open up a new comic. We can adjust it to fit the screen width. We can zoom in and out. It has a magnifier in here. It's a pretty cool idea. So as you can see, we can scroll through here, check out the different pages. We want to zoom in, want to check out the pictures or see the text. You can use the scroll bar here, zoom right in, zoom out, whatever works for the user there. And I'm just going to switch back over here to this Avengers comic and give you a little better idea. It also has a magnifying glass, so if a student has some visual issues, they don't want to zoom the whole page in, they can just zoom in on the text here. As you can see, it moves around, real easy to do here, so you can get a real good idea of the wording, see how everything goes, and then it just toggles on, toggles off. Other features involved here, you can bookmark pages, show the bookmarks in the current book. It also even has a dictionary, so if you're reading through here, you're not sure about some of the wording, some of the slang from the 60s, students they may just not get. They can look it up in the dictionary without having to go out of here. So I think this is a really great piece of technology to use, mainly because it's a good way to get students reading. They are interested in these characters from movies, toys, whatever the case may be. And I think this is a really good way to get them into reading. And then one of the other great things about this is because they're digital, we can download copies right to them. They can put it on their tablet, they can take it home with them, and then they can read at home these same books that they're reading in school.